Io.
Ivo?
Ivo, thank you.
Ivo
So
DeGrell?
long ago. Yeah, Ivo DeGrell. He was probably my
fun.
top.
He was fun.
I did
I'm just gonna smash through this tower.
I did make for a one-shot that Josh made. I made a Loxodon life domain cleric. And it was only a one-shot, but I'm like, that guy was awesome.
And
like,
so much Loxodons from Ravnica, too, so.
Loxodons are my favorite
they're a good race.
in
I like
D&D.
them.
Like, they are, like, if I have a chance of, if I ask a DM, I'm like, do you have any limitations on race? Or like, nope, I'm like, Loxodon. I'm like, just,
one of my favorite.
Lock it right in. I love Loxodons.
One of my favorites is the Pathfinder's Oread, which is basically the Earth Genasi. I don't know why. I love him. One of my favorite characters I played was a druid at that, and he had a big moss beard. It was great.
Okay.
I've never played a belligerently stupid character before.
Oh, they're so much fun.
You haven't played a what?
Like a belligerently stupid, you know? Like Darius is kind of dumb, but he's wise.
He's not stupid. He's just not overly smart.
Yeah, he's just not overly smart. So I just always kind of wanted to try like that. So I'm just gonna get into some shit because I don't know any better.
The only downside with those characters is like you have to find ways to keep them interesting. It's nice in combat because your methodology is always so simple. It's just I know
I'm a battering ram,
very hard kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, then outside of that, you have to work kind of hard to create a little bit more RP for them, because when you have very straightforward, simple directives, you can kind of get bored of the character.
Garion, quick question. When we did like the little mini shot during the God King campaign where it was like around
where I was Nikolai?
I was trying to remember, what was your character? Because I remember I was the Trident.
Yeah, I was Nikolai. He was a half-elf spirits bard who was a storyteller. And I had Alistair as his fake identity. Right. He was a lot of fun. I enjoyed Nikolai.
I was trying to remember, because he had, I know Josh was playing a rogue woman, and he was like, dude, this is like a ton of fun. That was a fun little mini campaign.
Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed Nikolai.
Well, everyone's getting a little summary of all of our past characters, past and present, future potential characters.
So
we'll always have a special.
We are live, by the way. I don't know if you heard that.
I did hear that, but I was excited about. I was nostalgic about some of the past campaigns, because there's never enough time in order to play all the characters.
I'm still so much nostalgia over my buddy Yale One. I love playing Yale One.
It's like there's sometimes you have characters like, and if you don't finish a campaign out, it just feels like that character died and didn't get to tell their story.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And with that being said, let's get on with this session.
And they're all gonna die.
So that these characters don't go through. Yeah, I'll just be like Strahd falls, everyone dies.
Nice.
And then we'll just go back to Rise of the God King and just, Okay, that being said, when we last left our intrepid heroes, the clerics were investigating the burgomaster's mansion at his request. He had suspected that he had some type of eavesdropping happening from someone within the village or from outside the village. He was unsure, but he knew it had been happening long before the party had arrived in Vallaki, and therefore they seemed a natural ally that he knew that he could trust, for they had no reason to scorn him. The clerics began exploring the house. They initially met a few of the servants, the cook they spoke to. For a short time, searching around the house, they were unable to find anything of note on the bottom floor. No secret trapdoors, no hidden things. They did discover that two of the people were missing. There was Walter and Alice, the butler and the woman in waiting, both married, who disappeared about 7 days previously, right before the Wolfhead's jamboree. The celebration directly preceding the celebration the next day, which at the moment I'm blinking. The Blazing Sun, the festival of the Blazing Sun. Seeing that they weren't able to find anything more from the cook, they left him to go to the second floor. Exploring further, they quickly found that there was a mirror with magical origin and appeared to show what was Graves' true form. Graves had no real explanation for why this was happening, and the players were soon distracted by an interloper in their midst, Pidalic II, who, without any reason to their knowledge, appeared in the second floor waiting for them, stating that he had been found by someone and alluding that he had teleported to their side. Continuing to search, they found in the master bedroom a trap door from the ceiling. With Pidalic's assistance, they were able to throw him into the air. He caught hold of the rope, pulling down, allowing a ladder to descend, and open up a pathway to the attic. In the attic, they found a number of concerning items. Old torture devices gathering dust, as well as just boxes and crates. The entire room was surrounded by near ghost of what appeared to be mannequins or statuettes covered in dust cloths. Moving on, however, they saw that there was a pathway through the center of the attic, leading to a doorway. Upon the doorway, there was a sign that said, "All is not well." Foolishly, the clerics touched the door, causing a divine trap to spring forward, shocking them with electricity. And that is where we ended last session, as they were about to attempt to enter through the door another route. The last thought that they had...
Yes, please, I
see.
forget. I forget our last thought. Please tell.
So I'm
What was
pulling
I
it up really
thinking?
quick so I can think of the exact wording of it. Just
Please tell me what I was thinking.
You talked about it afterwards, so I know it was pretty big thought.
Okay, good. Because I forget. So I gotta pick the lock or something? I can do
No,
that.
I lost my my one folder and I'm not finding it.
I could create a set of lockpicks.
I think I have some already.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Okay.
Inventory. Yes, I do.
So, upon reading the sign that said, "All is not well," I believe it was Graves, heard a voice in his head that seemed to be from another time, saying that same phrase. As you look back in your memory, you remembered Madam Eva saying, "This card tells of history. Knowledge
Right.
of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. There is a town where all is not well. There you will find a house of corruption, and within a dark room full of still ghosts."
We need to get in there somehow.
Looking around, you see the still ghost around you. You have all seen what you believe to be corruption of the household. And now you've been reminded that all is not well. Let me bring us to the correct map.
Yes, please. Couple rough ideas of what to do now. But they depend on the map.
Man, I'm feeling rusty. I haven't DM'd for a bit just because we've had to take the hiatus. Go.
This is why you should DM like 3 games a week. Yeah, I do this to myself.
I think if I had all the games pre-prepped, I would be able to, no problem.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, some of my games I prep months in advance. Other games, not.
If I go all the when we go all the way through Curse of Strahd, I think I could very easily run it as a side campaign with other people.
Yeah,
because I'd have a lot of knowledge.
True. Okay. Aha.
All right, Onyx, you go to open the door. No trap goes off, but it does appear locked.
Where am I? Ah!
I wasn't trying to open the door. I'm way back here.
Oh.
I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying
to attack over there.
Up, apparently.
Tell him no.
So I know Graves had talked about using his lockpicks, I believe. And if, hey, no traps going off.
I hurt from the last trap, so I'm staying over here.
Oh, like some healing, friend. Is that Graves' voice? It's been so long.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Close enough. I'll slap you with a cure wounds.
Just say boneyard like a whole bunch of times, and you'll get into it.
Yes, boneyard.
There we go. Nailed
it. The Lady of the Graves. All right, so that's 6 points back to you, my friend.
All right, that's at least helpful.
That Graves will go forward and bring out his lockpicks.
If there's any way for Herbert to help, he will. But he'll start by casting guidance on you.
Aha, yes. I would love guidance. I'm just going to check my bonus. Because it's basically as if I'm proficient. It's like a dex skill I'm proficient in. My dex is +2, proficiency is +2, so I get a +4 currently.
I'll just talk about like the basic construction of like locks and theories and stuff like that, and just try to help you out with like sometimes they have these false pins where the center part of it is cut out so that you think that it's set, but it's not really set. You have to check to see if there's give.
Can you roll me a charisma check to see if it's more distracting or more helpful?
I like it. I mean, I wanted to succeed, but I like it.
I've been there where people are trying to be helpful, and sometimes it's just worse.
You'd rather just have them shut up, yeah.
Okay, it's helpful. So you get to add his.
Okay.
So I get advantage and guidance then, correct?
That is a 10 total, by the way.
Okay. You get to add his bonus, his dex bonus to your.
Okay. What's your dex bonus?
0.
And proficiency. I'll do dex and proficiency.
Okay, so marking a total +6 plus guidance. All right. Let's roll good. Natural 1. No. Guidance is a +4, right? Or 1d4.
It's a d4.
So it is. It is 1d4.
That d4 is stuck. All right, that's a 9.
Sometime.
Yeah, that's a 9.
There. Okay, so a 9 total.
Yeah. Good old daddy 1.
You are trying to pick the lock, but despite everything that Herbert is telling you, you're not seeming to find any purchase on it, and you're like, this seems like a very old lock, but it was a well-made lock for its time.
What if I were to, if we were to like take a good while and like I'd like just take it slow for like half an hour or something? Could I try again, or is it a do once you don't succeed, that's it?
Fuck it. I just go up with my hammer and bash it.
What? Wait.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Okay, roll me
All right.
An attack.
Dexterity saving throw.
I mean, I technically could probably fix it, so they probably wouldn't even know if we really
That's
don't
true.
care.
23.
That's true. That might be a good idea, actually.
Just break it. I'll fix it later.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Why not?
So
Onyx
What up,
is
two
watching you
floors?
struggle and struggle. He just like walks up, hip checks you out, and just swings his hammer down.
Also,
center of the
worst
door at
case-
the lock.
roll me
Worst
a
case
damage.
scenario, there are windows on this floor. We can get to roof level at night. We can come back.
Can we guarantee that there are windows within this particular room?
At least according to this map, there is. But
I almost rolled max damage too.
nice.
Oof. Okay, so I'm just going to say that you step forward. You're just like you're angry. You have the electricity flowing through your circuits still, and you just step forward, full on swing, and this lock doesn't stand a chance. It just the wood splinters, the doors both all fly open as you're going through there.
How about you want to fix that so we can just put it back on after?
Yeah, I'll do that. You guys look around. I need something to focus on for a second.
Okay.
I'm just like, there. It's open.
It was well done. Presently of Herbert here, that was actually very, very good.
Quite efficient, actually.
All right.
Yes.
When you open the door,
Loud, but no one's on the second floor. They're all down the first.
let me believe.
So we should be fine.
Hold on a moment.
The cleric becomes the barbarian.
I mean,
But also the rogue and the wizard, and because we're all clerics.
I do have a level in fighter, so
No, I think it's hilarious when I'm reading through the Strahd thing. It's like, if your party has a cleric, and I'm like, what?
well,
Four of them.
Four.
It's like, but how do you choose which one? Like,
Oops.
because
all
it's always
clear.
like, dude, like if the party has a cleric, so and so seeks them out. I'm like, well, that person's seeking them out. Like,
yeah, just roll a D4.
Thinking out all of us.
Go in alphabetical order and roll a d4.
We are men of true faith. As is evident by every time Graves prays in private.
It's actually in alphabetical order across their top. Graves, Herbert, and
Oh.
Marathonics.
it might be by
Hey.
design, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It
Who
wasn't.
knows?
I just
Heck.
put them in random places.
Oh,
Yeah.
It worked.
We could have swapped them and stuff.
oh, you meant
the
on the
assets.
stream.
Yeah, on the stream.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you meant in
No.
Talespire.
No.
No, not in Talespire. It's not there.
Yep.
But on the
apologize,
stream,
my-
Certainly is not.
it's not
System's
alphabetical
running
according to our
slow.
first names, but
Right.
according to our character names.
Yeah, I begin casting mending on the locks and stuff.
No, that makes sense. Sorry, my system
all the
was running a little
scriptures.
slow. I was trying to pull up the music, so I never actually switched it at the beginning.
Oh, yes. Right.
But Syrinscape is running very slow.
Still telling me Alex is
Website.
GM.
This is my game now.
Alright, I guess we're in the Dungeon of the Bad Mage now.
It happens.
There we go.
You just suddenly, you step through Dorm Barovia, you're in Undermountain. Normal shit, right? Normal stuff.
Alistair drops his tea.
Where did you come from?
You may ask me 3 questions. 2 of them will be truthful and 1 will be a lie.
All right, so we ask him
There
how
we
we
go.
kill him all 3 times, so we know.
How can we kill you? Yeah, how can we kill you?
I have no idea. No, you can stab me.
There we go. I'll
I
just
go
hit
to
a
stab
delay
him.
on
He
there.
moves. That was the lie.
That was a lie.
So he doesn't know how we kill him.
Okay.
Is
Be a
that-
god.
As you open this door,
Oh, there's stuff in there.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It would open inward, but they were set up that way.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh.
has taken old, mismatched furniture, created a study in this dusty, lamplit chamber. Tables are strewn with pieces of parchment on which strange diagrams are drawn, and a freestanding bookshelf holds a collection of bones. A dusty rug covers the floor in front of a pine box, on which lounges a skeletal cat. Several more skeletal cats skulk around. Most unnerving as all is the sight of 3 small children standing with their backs to you in the northwest corner of the room.
Wait, are these skeletal cats walking around?
They are they're acting like normal cats.
They're undead skeletons that are cats. I
Yes.
want one. Except Grace wants to destroy them.
He's like, I have never been so conflicted in my life.
Like Garrigan wants one. Grace like, this is an abomination.
Okay, so I need a few things as you walk into the room. I need everyone to roll me perception checks.
Okay.
Ooh. My bonus for that is
Let's see what.
+3. So that's a 22 from Graves.
I got an 11.
Oh, space.
Natural 1 and a natural 19 so far. You know, both ends of the spectrum. Not quite a natural 20, but
I got an 18.
Okay. So you guys all look around the room. You don't see anyone in there. There is you do see the children upon further inspection.
they're gone.
You can see that the children standing in the corner are painted wooden dolls dressed in clothing that looks like they're children's clothing, probably from the nobleman's family, the burgomaster's family. There is to the right here runes written across the ground with papers mixed throughout. You can tell that there's multiple calculations, arcane in nature. Anyone can roll an arcana check if they would like.
Go, Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it too, I think, but
I'm actually not proficient with arcana, but I am intelligent.
I'm not intelligent, but I'm proficient.
I'll
roll then.
I'll roll one, but yeah.
Natty 1 for a 4.
I got a 13.
Okay. So Graves, you see that the circle is there, but you're like, I know it's magical in nature. You don't know
I got
magic.
Jack shit like ideas.
That. Herbert, when you're looking at it, you still have the detect magic active, correct?
Sure.
I believe we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that.
Because that's how you saw the mirror.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it like constantly here because we're searching for stuff. So yeah.
So when you look here, you see that this doesn't actually have any magic imbibed in it yet. It looks like it's being created to imbibe magic, but doesn't actually have a school associated with it yet. You look at it and you recognize some of the inscriptions, but this is very much incomplete. Everyone that rolled like above a 10 for a perception would be able to tell that this circle was hidden beneath a rug, but hastily.
Okay.
Is the rug still on it, or?
The rug is like, it looks like it's built to be flipped back and forth so he can easily hide it if someone's coming in the room. But it looks like the last time that he went to flip the rug down, he didn't flip it all the way, so it wasn't fully covering the circle, which is how you guys found it.
Okay. Is that chest back there actually there? Or is it just decoration on Talespire?
Let me take a look.
Because there's one that I can try to open, but I'm like, this could just be for looks, for the map.
You open it and you see that there's just papers and like pens. extension of the papers and stuff that looks like it's been used for creating this circle.
I know you said it's dusty, but it looks like it's like at least semi-actively used.
This room looks
Here?
like it's very actively used. It is dusty,
Okay.
like the person doesn't really care. Also, I did message Cole. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't.
I definitely think that Herbert was definitely going to cast mending on the door, but then he's like, skeletal cats walking around, big runic circle. That's pretty damn interesting.
Yeah. Do the mending
So-
after.
He's like investigating the circle like further, trying to figure out what the papers say. Maybe ask, like, if you take some time, maybe you can ascertain like the purpose or the intent of the circle. But I don't know if he has enough arcane knowledge to even figure it out.
So, Konerith, explain to me how exactly you're approaching this corner.
Oh, is that where the kids are? Or the dolls?
Does the corner seem timid? Is it a timid corner?
Is this a
Oh, no.
plastic?
What was that?
Does the corner seem timid? Is it a timid corner?
Very aggressive.
He'd be reading the room, basically.
So I don't really know how to say this without just give away. The person that you can see is like watching you very closely and appears to be holding his breath. And as you get closer, he kind of tries to shift so that you won't walk into him.
See invisibility.
Okay.
Do you have that running, or did you?
Konerith.
He did earlier, at
He
least.
did, yeah.
Nice.
So Konerith, like, was making eye contact with him at first, but after seeing the slightly shifty nature of the character, kind of plays it off like he was just looking at the corner. And then mentally tells the other three in the room, there is an invisible person in the corner over there attempting to hide from us. Perhaps someone should close the door.
Herbert looks at the corner, obviously.
Don't look at the corner.
Sorry.
He doesn't think that we know. He doesn't know that I know that he's there. I think he's invisible.
No one else is reacting. Graves will kind of go over to close the door if no one else is. But like, let's keep this shut just in case someone comes by. So casually.
You, Graves, as you are walking over there, you hear a meow near your feet, and one of the cats is near your leg, near the door, and it's going to kind of make. Have you actually? Would Graves know what a cat is?
I imagine like
cats.
I imagine there'd be cats in like small towns, like barn cats and such.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what you would normally anticipate to be a purr is more like a weird rattling sound of like someone running a stick across metal bars or like the ribs of bones. And it rubs against the side of your leg, and you can feel all of its ribs, everything like that, as it goes through. But it is very much like acting exactly like a normal cat.
I mean, Gary loves it. Graves is like, oh, little abomination, and just walks past. If it was a regular cat, I'd be like, oh, cool. But it's an undead.
So I don't recognize this person at all.
Roll me a history check.
Sure. How old do they seem? Like, we're talking an adult or like kind of?
He looks like he's
teen?
low 20s, like late teens, early 20s. However, you do find it's odd because he has a streak of gray in his hair. Everything else tells you that he's much younger.
I just got straight 12.
Okay. You do recognize him very faintly from a painting that you saw downstairs. This is the son of Vargas Velakovich, his son Victor.
Oh no,
Victor Velakovich. That ain't great. We're gonna
So-
run out of town here soon.
Conereth again, pretending, just kind of now he's just looking at the stuff on this table, but still mentally communicating. If I recognize him correctly, I believe he is Vargas's son. I'm not sure what we should do in this situation.
If you allow response, goes be like, do we know if they get along? Is he
See, I can
estranged?
only
Or
extend that to one person, and I think I'd be holding back unless someone clearly tried to communicate that they wanted to try to talk back to me.
Grace would think it. You didn't. And if you don't hear him, then he'll kind of look over in your direction, kind of just like he's looking, but possibly trying to get to your attention, but looking casual. And then be like, and just walk over and then just nod at Conereth.
All right, so he'll extend his telepathy to you, so now you can speak back. It's all right, Graves. I can hear what you're thinking now.
Yeah. Do you happen to remember if they are on good terms, or if he's estranged, or anything of that sort? 'Cause I don't know. Anyway, that's it.
Just saw a photo of it. It lasts for an hour, by the way. So
Okay.
I just remember seeing a photo of him downstairs with his father.
All
A
right.
family photo, I would assume.
But if he's here, it's probably they get along. Probably. Not
We
guaranteed.
could either just speak with it as well. When I'm responding to Graves, I'm extending that to everyone else. So you're only hearing half the conversation, but I don't know if it would be helpful, but I could probably somewhat instantaneously put him to sleep, and then we could talk aloud and try to figure out what we want to do. If anyone would like to go with that plan, maybe just give a nod in my general direction. So we extended that.
It's looking at some paper.
Yeah, I pick up some papers and I'm like, oh yes, of course.
All right. Conereth tries to, as subtly as he can, cast sleep as a second level spell on him.
As you go to cast it, you feel the key around your neck.
Oh.
Pulse. Your shadow, which has been pointing you in directions of different warnings as well as kind of your own deeper thoughts. You see it pass through the flickering of the candles. It begins elongating like it is a sunset, stretching across the room towards a person, and you cannot call the magic forward that you normally would for sleep.
Is
However,
this guy your patron?
you see your shadow go underneath the feet of this young man, and he stiffens. Your shadow wraps around him, and he crumples to the floor.
Shadow possession jutsu.
As that happens, the cats all break apart in their bones, and they just fall on the ground.
Conereth's gonna quickly go over and check his vitals.
Was he the
He's asleep.
necromancer?
Does my detect magic show me anything about what happened just then? I assume there was magic aura on the cats.
That would have been
Necromancy?
Fancy.
No, whatever animate objects is basically the equivalent. The same school of magic.
Okay, gotcha.
It wasn't like souls. It was
the shadow itself. What was that? Was that magic or what?
Let me take a look.
So those weren't undead cats. They were just animated cat skeletons.
They had sort of intelligence, though. It's strange.
So you're looking at it, and it throws you off at first because you don't think there is a color to it. However, as you look closely, you can see the edge of the shadow has a slight black hue. It just blends in with the shadow,
Black hue.
making you believe it's a necromancy of some kind.
Makes sense.
Uh,
Yeah.
Conareth
What?
goes over, kind of like checks his vitals, and then turns around and is like, I've put him to sleep.
All right. Well,
You do not lose a spell slot or anything for doing that.
I am not sure what to do, friends. Any ideas?
Well, perhaps we should find out what he's doing up here.
I'm gonna grab that book while you're
I mean,
talking.
The
is he
one that
still
he's holding?
invisible?
Yeah.
Is he still invisible, or does he become visible when he falls asleep?
He lost. It only lasts for a minute, so it was nearing very end of the thing. I believe it was concentration. So no,
that's
he
greater
would
invisibility.
go visible.
Oh my!
Dude, how did you know it was greater invisibility from that little info? Dude, you're freaking nuts.
Well, the regular invisibility lasts an hour, and greater invisibility lasts a minute.
Wouldn't greater last?
It's more powerful, so it's shorter time.
Powerful, yeah, because you can attack and stuff and not become
And not
visible.
break.
You can do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm always amazed that you just like enter your mind palace and you're like, what page of the book was that in? You just like read off the frickin'
It's just, watching 1,400 hours of Critical Role and looking up everything that they do while they're playing, just figuring shit out. Anyway,
So, you said you were grabbing the book, Kunarth.
Yes.
You see this to be a spell book, but also a journal.
He's gonna start perusing through it.
Okay.
And just before he's doing that, he says, "Thank you, Shade." But obviously, just to the Shade.
we should probably bind his hands and mouth. Just if spell catches, they can be tricky.
Oh yes, spellbook. Yes.
Don't want to.
I am
he was invisible
much
too.
more familiar with the divine.
That being said, we are going to take a bio break, mostly because I didn't anticipate you guys finding these journals, so I hadn't fully completed the handout yet. It should only take me a few minutes.
Yes, fair.
Right on.
Because it does have pertinent information, and we'll want to be able to read all the way through it. So I would say at least 8-10 minutes. I think just quick bio break. I'll just go through and process that really quick.
Sounds good.
Right on.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome back. It took me a little longer to get that due to some technical issues. We did realize we had not done our usual introduction that with the Curse of Strahd, it is a notoriously dark campaign that uses adult themes and language. Therefore, viewer discretion is advised. We last left Konareth had just found journals from Viktor Volakovich, and he was looking through, seeing that it was a spell book as well as a journal. And I will be sharing the handout in our Discord, which is linked below. But for now, Konareth is going to be reading out the journal entries that he's seen, rather than having each individual person read it at once.
It appears as though this is a spell book of his. He's also written some personal journal entries in it. Maybe we can see if there's anything we can glean from what he's written.
Makes sense.
Journal entry number 1. My miserable parents have found yet another way to drive me mad. It's not enough that they drag me down to their meals and force me to sit on their meetings. No, now they're finding new ways to ruin my work by shoving this vapid little girl into my life. Her voice, her face, and her very being are pure frustration to me. Surely if I keep trying to work in front of her, she'll be frightened and tell my parents of my work. How can I remove her? Entry number 2. I might be in trouble. That irritating little girl was sent up to my workroom with me. Spent some time with her, father said. You need to get to know each other. I don't want to get to know this stupid girl. I want to be left alone. She kept trying to talk to me, interrupting what little bits of work I could do in front of her. I finally cast a fear spell on her to shut her up and drive her away from me. She spent the next minute cowering in the furthest corner of the room. It was only by the time the spell ended that I realized what I'd done. She'll tell someone what happened. I used one of my more difficult spells on her. I made her forget fear. I hope it was enough. I've never used magic like that on a person before. Number 3. I'm not in trouble. I've never been happier to see that round little face at my door. The magic worked. She doesn't know what happened. She actually apologized for her panic attack and for embarrassing herself in front of me and assured me that it wasn't a regular occurrence. On the other hand, I'm stuck with her again, but perhaps that's a good thing. I have a lot to learn about magic after all. Entry number 4. However, or somehow, I forgot how ignorant this imbecilic town is. I don't know why I worried so much. The stupid girl doesn't know anything about magic. I tried a few more spells on her today, and even before I erased it from her mind, she had no idea what was happening. Still, it's best to be careful. I couldn't resist pulling a little prank on her, though. As she was leaving the house today, I gave her a little illusion that only she could see. It was pathetic how many people came running to see her scream. Entry number 5. This is incredible. Magic is incredible. I'm like a god. I command her and she obeys. I wish her to be frightened as she is. And all the while she doesn't even know what's happening. Today I finally used a spell on her that I've been able to actually cast, that I've never been able to actually cast before. It seized control and bent her to my will. She could do nothing that I did not let her. Yet she was aware the whole time. But I found that spell uses too much mana to allow me to alter her memory until tomorrow. I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I got to see the extent to which I could control her, embarrass her enough that it was simplicity itself to plant the idea that she couldn't keep this incident a secret, that she shouldn't keep this incident a secret. It's become so laughably easy to suggest that she come back in the morning. Entry number 6. As I expected, that stupid watcher girl crawled back to me this morning, red-faced and quiet. I tidied up her memories, and then sent her on her way. Couldn't do anything too blatant to her today, given that I'd already changed her memories once. I decided to have a little fun instead. After a few illusions that no one else could see, and a spell to scramble her stupid brain, she caused quite the hilarious scene. Entry number 7. The stupid girl didn't show up today. I guess she's playing sick after her little episode yesterday. That won't do. I have more things I want to test. There's another spell I haven't tried yet. It's supposed to let me enter someone's dreams and control what they see. Entry number 8. Well, it worked. Stupid girl is back. But now that she is, I realize how much of my time she's been taking up. Even under my control, she's a nuisance, a distraction. Still, I've learned much about magic because of her. I think I'll just have her play with the cats while I work. Entry number 9. The girl is getting annoying again. She's acting strange and can't seem to keep straight a thought in her head until I pound her stupid brain into shape with a spell. Still, at least she's becoming more responsive to my suggestion spells. I don't have to work twice as hard to twist her mind as I did a week ago. Playtime with the cats isn't enough to keep her out of my hair. Maybe I can get her to pretend she is a cat. Meowing doesn't distract me. Entry number 10. This is excellent. The The girl stays out of my way. A quick spell shoves her into a role as a cat, and from there she obeys without a single other spell. Can finally focus on what's important. She's still handy if I become frustrated. Even when my work is at its hardest, it's always satisfying to see my power in action. Entry number 11. Father says the stupid girl isn't coming back. Apparently she woke up, stuck in her role, still acting like a cat. I suppose this was bound to happen eventually. Her stupid little brain just couldn't handle magic like mine. Some of Father's guards wanted to ask what happened. It was easy to convince them that I'd had some arguments with the stupid girl, said some things I regret, and that her own delicate constitution had done the rest. Ignorant, weak-willed idiots. It's a shame, too. I'd finally gotten used to her. I guess on that, I can admit that when she wasn't annoying me, she was a nice piece of scenery to have around. Maybe once I finish my work, I'll take her with me. She's already shown herself a good test subject, and it would be a nuisance to have to break in another one. Entry number 12. I think it's ready. Maybe now I can finally get out of this place. It's a shame that girl isn't here. I could have her try it out for me. Certainly not testing it first. Perhaps one of the certain servants might prove useful. Entry number 13. Evidently, it's not ready. We'll keep trying. And entry number 14. What am I doing wrong?
Did you say vodka girl? There was a lot in there.
This is startlingly
Vapid.
disturbing usage of magic. Never considered how it could be used in this way.
I'm gonna, while they're talking, I'm gonna check the spells in the book and see if they kind of coincide with what he said he was doing to her.
For sure, yeah. Roll me an Arcana check. Real quick.
Can I assist because I've been studying the
Yeah, and I'm guessing that you would, Herbert, upon hearing like what the journal entry is, you would probably want to look at the book yourself.
I
Afterwards.
very much think we should not give this boy his book back. I don't care what his father says or what his powers are. This boy does not deserve magic.
I would agree. It also, those last couple entries might suggest what happened to those servants who went missing.
How long, Conereth, how long will your magic keep this boy asleep? How much time do we have?
You hear a whisper in your ear, Conereth, that just says, long enough.
Long enough.
That's not a unit of time.
It's not an exact science.
Suppose I'll have to have some faith.
What was your Arcana check? And you can do it at advantage because of Herbert helping you.
Yep.
Let me double check my Arcana skill. Okay. So far, I've rolled like a 2 and a 4. Hey. And then I'll take the first one. 16 total.
Okay. You are able to decipher the spells that are available. I just shared them in the handouts. There are quite a few of them that you're seeing here. And you are looking at this and thinking, mostly you would be wondering, how would a kid this isolated get this many spells?
But he also got 5th levels.
Yeah.
How would he cast them as well?
Like, reading through this, anyone that has a basic knowledge of magic could be like, this kid wasn't just your run-of-the-mill, like, small-town magic user. Like, he wasn't
He
just
was
doing
powerful.
cantrips. he was actually starting to become pretty powerful.
Yeah. Also,
with it and realizing that he had that power.
It also, I believe, reading through the entries does specify Wachter girl. The Wachters we've heard of a few times.
The girl, what happened to her exactly? She just stopped showing up, or she was separated from him somehow?
He had been repeatedly making her act like a cat. And at some point, she stopped acting like a little girl.
And stayed like a cat. Well, judging from this entry and Grazel point to number 6, I believe I know where she lives.
Sixth entry is
Super
Doctor Girl crawled back to me this morning.
Yeah, because I know where the Wachter house is.
I just missed.
However,
that's why
we have heard some unpleasant things about the Wachters as well. They're the ones who supposedly support Strahd, and have my own reasons to suspect them of more.
I mean, just because our family has a certain leaning doesn't mean every member is...
Oh, no, certainly not. I more so just mean the family in general. And I doubt this little girl really had any part in it, and she seems to surely been the victim of this man. And Grace will just give a disgusted look at the guy on the ground.
As far as this young lad is concerned, I don't think we have to worry about him any more than the fact that he's clearly an established spellcaster. Obviously, he has things that he doesn't want his family to know. So to tell them that he found us up here where he's conducting these experiments is probably unlikely.
Matter of you tell, will tell situation.
With that, Conereth pockets the spell book.
Good plan.
Okay.
And if he reveals he had this journal, parents will find out. And if he's like, well, they stole my spell book, but we're like, well, look what's in it.
Frickin' Onyx asked the big question, should we make it so he can't cast spells anymore?
Where?
Well, I think that would, as much as I kind of like the idea, I think that would be putting us too much in the line of fire from his father. Because we very often, as we said, if we take his spell book, if he's like, well, they got my spell book, then it reveals everything that he doesn't want revealed as well. So if he reveals us, we reveal him. And we don't really want to be known to have bodged in here.
I'm going to search for any sort of raw arcana material, things that would be useful for either rewriting or like copying or components to spells.
He would not be able to if he doesn't have his spell book.
I mean, he might have scrolls left around that he could recopy.
Say, if we make sure that he has no scrolls or just spell books.
Yeah, we don't know if it's the only copy he's got. It might be his main copy. Any good scientist or researcher would have backups.
Yes, let's check around.
I'm just tearing whatever containers open, just looking for things that I know are like common spell components.
Yeah, Graves would probably start helping, but like looking for like spell scrolls, spell books, etc. Well, he can't decipher them, I don't easily. I mean, he's proficient in Arcana. He could probably at least recognize, oh, this is a spell scroll. Any hidden spots where he could keep them like in a secret spot or whatever. It's like a door. Something like that. No, but even if he's maimed, then it's obvious we did something.
I don't care if they know, frankly. This whole family can go to hell if they're going to protect a scum like him.
I mean, yes, however, we don't want to be kicked out of town yet.
The memory spell in particular does require speaking. So
Actually, hold on.
we wouldn't have to do that much.
Actually, let me see the link. I might actually have something, but I'm not sure if it'll function.
Onyx is so into this.
Herbert's like, do it.
No. Yeah, I was like, blindness, deafness, because I'm used to Pathfinder where it's just permanent.
Oh,
But this is, you get to save every turn.
and it's
So I'm like, if that's permanent, then I could just deafen him permanently. But it is not permanent, unfortunately.
So are we
Suppose you
doing
can-
this?
polymorph him into a human without a mouth.
I think I'm against the idea, not because I don't think he deserves it, but because if we obviously harm him, even if his father disagrees and doesn't want to protect him, then we still broke the agreement, and we will then be targets of the Burgomaster, which I don't want to be on his bad side yet.
Depends how obvious it would be. I mean, he has an obvious incentive not to have this information come out.
But also, how likely is it that he up here just cut his own tongue out?
If he doesn't say otherwise.
You can still,
Suspicious
like-
timing, though, when we were here. It wouldn't be hard to put it together.
The Burgomaster already suspects that there's someone working against him here.
I mean, if we can
How
find
difficult would it
more,
be
if we
to
can
be-
find more evidence of it,
To believe
Then
that
that's-
that whoever's against him extended that toward his son.
as long as we can convince him or find evidence of.
I hardly think that our safe passage in this town is that important, frankly. My sense of justice is overwhelming right now. This man has committed atrocity after atrocity to this poor girl. He definitely deserves to be punished for it.
And intends to do it more,
And what
given the
was-
chance.
What
Now,
was Madam
the
Eva's
last-
warning?
I don't know which one.
Or
Knowledge of the ancients.
knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy.
Does he perhaps have information about Strahd then? Because the ancient is often Strahd.
Information I could still glean from him, allowing
Yes.
him to speak with me telepathically, even without a
True.
tongue.
Would he be willing to comply if he was already missing his tongue?
The
If,
more of the question is, the threat of losing it could be the motivator.
could be the motivator, yes. Now, the last two entries were of particular note to me. Seemingly two failures, two missing people.
Yep.
You talked
Yes.
about leaving
I-
this.
I noticed that as well. And there are two missing servants.
Yep.
And he specifically mentioned servants just before that.
So, in investigating here, we have potentially succeeded our goal of finding out what happened to his missing servants,
And maybe if he was working on invisibility and sneaking out, maybe that is what the Burgomaster was
my
talking
suspicion
about.
is I've heard of this sort of ritual that can take you from place to place called a teleportation circle,
Yes.
which may be what that arcane circle over there
Hmm.
may be.
Reading through his spell book, you would see where the drawings corresponded with the circle. You could see that he doesn't have nearly enough knowledge to actually complete it, but he did
That's what it
somewhere
is.
find information about a teleportation circle and has been attempting to complete it. These journal entries have like intermixed writings, but those are majority of the meat of the information.
Now, I spoke with some of the priests that were capable of performing high-level magics like this one, and they did always warn that it is important to test your spells thoroughly before you actually use them on a person. There's many ways to test with inanimate objects and such. Familiars even are expendable because they will just poof
Come back.
to the Fey realm and return once you can
Yes.
resummon them.
So,
So perhaps he's trying to grasp something that he's not ready for.
You hear a whisper in your ear again, Conereth, and it just says, soon.
Now, we did bind his hands and gag him at the very least, because I know, like, I tied his hands together like this, basically, so that he can't move them at all.
Weren't there bones over by the teleportation circle?
There's cat bones.
There's cat bones,
okay.
but you don't see any like humanoid bones
Okay.
that you can see.
So,
I think he'll be awakening soon.
Yeah.
so should we try to scare this information out of him?
Certainly, yeah.
The two possible threats that I can think of is taking his tongue and revealing him to his father, as we do have enough information that we could throw the blame of the spy on him.
If the father is not okay with it, this could backfire big.
He might.
time.
Yes. I think it would. I don't think he'd make a public knowledge, at least. He would not put his own name out there like that, but he would possibly deal with him discreetly. But it could backfire. Either way, I think the one most important question we have to ask ourselves here is, are we willing to become enemies of the Burgomaster today? If you all say yes, I'll go with it. I am not 100% sure on it, but if the rest of you are willing to, then I will follow your lead.
Well, then let's lead this young gentleman downstairs, but keep a weapon trained on him, so that if the Burgomaster thinks he has any ideas, he's going to sacrifice his son in order to get to us.
Do we want to get the information that we think he might have first?
Probably.
All right. Grace will produce a dagger. Who wants to go?
I'm
Who
more
will
of
be
a shield.
performing the interrogation?
Yeah. I got a knife to cut it off with, if anyone wants to do it. I got multiple knives.
If everyone hesitates for too long, Conera will step up.
I'm not sure I'm emotionally stable enough to get proper information from him. That's what
All right. Here you are, Conareth.
I will be good to
I'll
have
let you do
close
it.
by to make sure you don't go too much with my medicine, but
Yes.
I am not good at persuasion. Persuading
Yes.
people to tell me what they want.
I am all right at it. I think I still have advantage on it, but Graves doesn't want to be the one to do it. He's willing to be there, but he doesn't want to be the one to do it.
As you come up next to me to help Onyx, Conereth puts his hand on your shoulder and he's like, thanks, keep a close eye on him in case he turns on me. And puts Vigilant Blessing on you, so you have advantage on your initiative roll.
Sweet.
Did we find anything when we were searching for spell components or anything like that?
You saw like basic like things you would find in like a components pouch.
Back to one
scattered around. You didn't really see any copies of spells around. Can you roll me an insight check?
Sure.
Get a chance. Okay. You can use the first number.
It's a 9.
Okay.
I have disadvantage on all skill checks because I'm exhausted. I haven't slept
that's
in
right. I forgot
right.
you were exhausted.
Right.
We haven't slept in 3 months.
So, Herbert, you're looking around. You're not seeing anything around that would make you think that he copied the spells elsewhere. Would you think is odd? You don't know the reason why he wouldn't, but typically any basic wizard would have their spells in multiple locations, so that if something happens to their main book, they're able to still access it quickly before they have to like summon another book or find some other way to recover it.
He well, as we're getting ready here, then Herbert will grab one of the light sources, the candelabras, and just have it in his hands.
Sounds good. Okay. Victor begins to stir. And he opens his did you blindfold him as well?
I think we just gagged him.
Just gagged him?
Which makes Conair even better choice because he can mentally talk back and forth.
He opens his eyes and looks around the room, and when he catches sight of you all, he kind of stirs, goes to get up, realizes his hands are tied, and then begins like profusely struggling against his restraints, to no avail.
I wouldn't do that. My friend has questions.
You can hear that he is trying to kind of indiscriminately yell something, but you can't understand what it is, as it's blocked.
Takes a few steps forward. I'm assuming he'd be sitting on the ground in the corner, and kneels down. He's not hiding the knife. He's not like, brandishing it like a thug or anything, but and he speaks into the boy's mind. It's all right. You can speak to me with your mind. And he extends the ability so Graves can no longer respond to him, but the boy can respond to him mentally.
Okay. Are you trying to calm him down?
It's not an attempt to calm him down. It's more so he's just saying that he doesn't really have much sympathy for him.
You're portraying a sort of placid, sort of calm power.
So he is breathing like in and out of his nose very fast. Kind of trying to shrink himself against the wall to be as small as possible. No longer attempting to do anything. You can see that his fingers are kind of moving like he's trying to do some type of incantation, but it's not coming to him.
Panicking will get you nowhere.
Who are you?
Me? I'm Conereth. We know who you are, and we know what you've been up to.
We established you can't read the mind, correct?
Nope.
Okay.
But he doesn't
but
know
you
that.
can. He
knows
like,
that I'm talking in his mind and that I'm hearing what he's saying.
Okay. More so I was like, would you see flashes of images or would you not? So in this case, you would just hear what he actively tries to say to you, kind of like someone talking. So what he does is he kind of looks at you and he glances at the teleportation circle.
I'm standing near it. So if I see him looking at it, I think maybe I'd like put my foot down on the runes, and cock my head.
I think the rest of us are over by Conair too.
It appears that Servants wasn't cutting it for you. Or were you just waiting for an opportunity to use more of your father's? You're making him quite anxious.
Roll me an intimidate check.
Does he get bonus from the two of us sitting here?
Honestly, he would just get advantage. This whole situation is terrifying.
Yeah. He's got 3 clerics staring him down. One who's a robot.
I get no additions to it, so let's just.
You do get advantage, but okay.
It'd just be straight 11.
He's just he's continuing to kind of breathe pretty fast as he's going around. You can see that he has a little bit of sweat trickling down his forehead. And in a mental whisper, he's like, I'm just trying to get out.
But your methods are cruel, unnecessary.
Unnecessary?
There's other ways to gain wisdom, to gain power. You don't have to use and manipulate others for that.
Have you known anyone to escape the mist?
I will know. And he looks around behind him at the other three. 3 others before long.
You know a way out?
We're working on that.
Maybe
Is that
we
what your
could combine.
teleportation spell for?
Maybe we could combine knowledge. You look like you know magic. I'm a magic user too.
We're well aware. What was
So
it
you know
that
what I'm capable of.
What was it that everyone else wanted to know from him? Just to clarify how to focus my questioning. Maybe his knowledge of Strahd, or was it
Yes.
the ancients?
The ancient normally refers to Strahd.
The ancient one. Yeah.
Does he know
Yeah.
anything about why Vallaki is not harried by Strahd as much as the other towns? Or
Yeah, that and just Strahd.
yeah.
Those 2 things are the primaries in my mind.
If you're capable of casting the spells that you have in your book, then yes, you are capable for sure. How did you
So we
come
can help
across
each
such
other.
capability?
I mean, a wizard, a mage doesn't reveal his secrets so easily. I found them in my father's study.
We've been in your father's study. We've seen nothing like that. Unless he keeps it very well hidden.
A man like him doesn't stay in power without hiding things.
Is his
What
father
is it with this
capable of
town?
anything?
This city? What exception does it have?
I don't understand what you mean. Exception does it have?
Strahd. His tendrils reach into every alley, every root, every hole in the ground. And yet, this city appears to be relatively unscathed. You would probably know more than most, someone that seeks for knowledge like you.
I have no reason why. I have no idea why the devil doesn't come into Vallaki.
All is not well. That wasn't written by you.
It was. But it didn't have anything to do with him. Can you ungag me, please? It's quite uncomfortable.
I'm sure it is.
I want to make
I don't
comments.
know why that's so good.
I don't know what the context is of this conversation.
Yeah, we just see them staring at each other.
I'm just like trying to look intimidating in silence. Just
Yeah.
That would be such a tense situation for the other 3 people where there's just nothing being said. It's just Connerith and Victor just staring
they're
at each
staring.
other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Victor
To
would
be
like be
fair.
occasionally like kind of flickering around, and Codereth would just be like burrowing holes into his face with his
To be fair,
eyes.
to ungag him, I do have silence prepared.
That's good. If you win initiative.
You barge into my room, smash my door. I hid, and then you attack me. What had I done to you?
Well, first off, merely touching the door was an attack
It's my
on us.
door. It's my door. And you do hear a little bit of a whiny teenager in that statement. He's like,
You
it was
can't
my
go there.
door. Like, you didn't have any. Who are you even? And why are you in our house?
Your father invited us in.
Oh,
He gave
well,
us free
isn't
roam of the
that an
entire house.
isn't that an extension of my father's infinite wisdom?
You clearly have no deep respect for your father.
No deep respect. That's an understatement. You clearly have no deep respect for privacy. Look at that door.
And you clearly have no deep respect for human decency.
Human decency? And he kind of gestures his arms up that are tied. He's like, you smash my door, cast magic on me, gag and tie me, and then interrogate me, and you're talking about human decency?
You think that you can possibly equate anything that we have done to you thus far with what you have done to that poor girl, then
What girl?
you are farther lost than I was hoping you would be.
Has he not noticed that his spellbook is missing?
He's just kind of tied.
He doesn't like know that we've read the journal.
In there. And to him, not much time has passed. Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't have any context because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh, sorry, I meant Graves.
Oh,
Or
Onyx.
not Graves, sorry, Onyx.
yes, I do.
I know Kunareth had pocketed the book.
Oh, yeah, so you'd be able to say that, but you wouldn't have the spell book
Right.
to be able to say it out loud.
Yeah, okay, so I won't point at it, but just the...
You say it, and he kind of looks and he's like, so not only that, but you also read my private research notes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, actually, and Kunareth takes it out of his pack and kind of flips through the pages a bit. It was quite a disturbing read.
I'm sure
I
that
think you lack the context of it.
I'm sure that girl's parents will love to find out what actually happened to her.
Onyx can't hear anything that's being said.
I don't think context would change this. I don't think context would clear this. Would make it right. What context do you think you possibly have that makes what you've done acceptable?
What is one girl's sanity worth against the salvation of the entirety of Barovia?
So you're a savior.
Soon to be, if this circle works. Do you know how long people have been trapped in the mist?
A long time.
Yes. And how many people die under the subterfuge of the ancient, the land?
We've met a few of them.
Let's say one person dies every year because they're trapped in the mist. That'd be over 600 people. If I can kill 4 or 5 and make it so that the mist no longer exists, or that we're able to travel out of this accursed place, then I say that's well worth it.
And you think simply teleporting out of this space and not actually dealing with the Devil Strahd himself would somehow take you out of his reach? You don't think he could simply follow these people?
If the wolves overwhelm your house, you move.
If the wolves overwhelm your house, you get rid of the wolves.
Well, then you get rid of the wolves. In the meantime, I'm not foolish enough to think I can kill them myself.
One moment. And he stands up and turns around, and kind of gives a Cliff Notes version of this conversation to the other. Obviously, they'd have to respond verbally, but
Sorry, I thought we could hear. We just couldn't talk to him.
Yeah. Does he
Oh,
seriously
no worries.
think there's nothing wrong with what he did? And doesn't he realize that ruining someone, their psyche, is far worse than actually just murdering someone? Like, at least then they get some respite. But permanent insanity, that's a curse. That's
yeah, and
being robbed of your faculties is just disgusting.
He pleads some form of a savior complex, yet through reading through his journal, he clearly took pleasure. It wasn't just simply, oh, I have to do this, it's an unfortunate circumstance. And he's extending this to the boy as well. Oh, this is a terrible thing that I have to do. All
Simply,
no mention of
this was something that he did.
He was going to escape and just fuck off.
Gleefully.
And simply achieving something good does not negate the wrongs that led to it.
Yeah, and
eternal punishment still awaits, and even more immediate punishment.
There was
I think the consideration
no...
of cutting out his tongue is definitely still on the table.
Oh, very much on the table.
Say that his eyes would widen.
Yeah. It's very much on the table. He would kind of
struggle against his binds a bit stronger than he has been.
Stop that.
I say we
don't worry, we'll cauterize it so you can live.
I say we let his father deal with him.
Do you think his father will be able to deal with someone who is as high a level spellcaster as he? High powerful spellcaster, I guess.
For all we know, he could be more powerful. He said he found these spells in his father's study. There's a magical mirror in the other room. This place is full of magical secrets.
Everyone roll me a perception check.
Nat 20 plus 3.
My perception is
so 23 for
so everyone wouldn't really notice. Everyone was kind of looking at
him,
Herbert, while he was talking. However, at the mention that Herbert said perhaps his father is a more powerful spellcaster, Graves, you would see the biggest eye roll from Victor at this statement.
I don't know if I had to worry about his father quite as much if this one is to be believed.
Perhaps
I think
knowledge.
I think the more of the issue of the father is his political power. But that still holds weight, especially if one's magic isn't to work to defend oneself. I'll say as I side eye over to him menacingly.
Herbert, sounds like you started to say something.
I was just saying that perhaps it was ancestral magic from generations before. Left over but neglected over the years.
Well, in the end, it doesn't seem as though this boy is going to be of any use to us. He doesn't know anything about the Devil's Strahd. He clearly can't put together a proper teleportation circle. All he can do is kill people with it.
It will take time. I will get it eventually.
And how many people will you have to kill in order to achieve that?
Less than Strahd.
That doesn't make it any better.
You can't hear that, by the way. That's him talking in my head.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right.
And you think that justifies the end of life?
I mean, I would say that if the end goal is a net positive, then yes.
Can I do a insight check on them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, 17.
You think that he is just justifying through his teeth and that he doesn't actually believe what he's saying. He's just trying to get out of this situation.
Yeah. I'm not taking this act at all. Someone that takes as much pleasure as you did in meddling with that girl's mind is not someone that does something like this for altruistic reasons. You get off on this. It's a power trip for you.
And what is this? Is this a power trip for you, having me subdued 4 against 1?
Oh, I'll admit, it's making me feel better.
Jeez, that's cold. So what now?
I'll admit, it does feel
Go
good.
ahead, hand me to my father. I don't care.
Well, the boy wants to be handed to his father, so I don't think that would be any proper punishment.
The tongue, then.
Do you think the burgomaster could actually comprehend and deal with what his son has been up to? Even if we gave him the journal written in his own son's hand?
The burgomaster's judgment seems to be primarily in his own interests.
Sure, he wouldn't give much credence to the plight of some poor girl from a rival family.
Especially not the Wachters.
If only if just for the potential political fallout.
Justice might need to come from another source.
I mean, what if this girl, mad with mind meddling magics, stumbled in here one day, took him by surprise, and cut his tongue out as revenge for what she's done to him?
So now you're faking crimes to get away with what you see as justice? Or are you guys saying this all internal?
You can't say that.
They would be speaking aloud, and I would be extending my mental faculties or my mental voice to him. He's still trying to justify everything that he's done.
Yes,
he's a warped mind.
I wouldn't really want to pin that on the girl, to be honest. As soon as I said it, I was like, not really. At least it would buy us enough time to figure out if the Wachters could take over as burgomaster instead of this pitiful family. But not like we would necessarily want them in control either, because we don't really know much about them. All we know is that this boy is pure scum, doesn't deserve magic or anything like that. But
well, if it is to be found that he was experimenting with teleportation magic, who's to say he did not make it out of the walls of Vallaki and met some foul fate there?
Graves, I think I've come up with an idea. And he turns around and grabs the boy from his shirt and just picks him up and starts dragging him over to the circle. Here you are, boy. You're going to finally get your attempt to teleport yourself out of the wall. No longer playing with any other lives. It's going to be your own on the line.
Oh, man. Okay, so you throw him into the center of the circle?
I'm taking him, I'm kind of taking in, reading the room as I'm dragging him to see what everyone else's thoughts are on this, if anyone else is going to comment on it.
I guess I would try to insight him to see if the boy thinks this is something that he can potentially get away with or something.
So
he's actually close.
If you are dragging him over to the circle, I won't require you to roll an intimidate check or anything, because you guys kind of have all the power in this situation. He's going to be mentally talking to you. He's like, it's not complete yet. Animals worked, but nothing else.
Complete enough to try on servants. This is a good opportunity to really put your mind to the test.
seeing you go over to the circle, I would probably like question. I wouldn't stop, but be like, on Earth, we know it's not ready.
Graves will give Onyx a wink.
Seeing Graves, I'll be like, I'll just kind of nod since they're now, I'm to their back. It will kill them.
Not if he's as good as he thinks.
But still just stop. Like, I'm not going to stop you.
He is kind of, his mind is reeling right now. You can't really make much sense of what exactly he's saying, but it's a number of different pretty much protesting what you are doing, saying that it isn't finished yet. He hasn't perfected it yet, that it still needs more research.
Why don't you give me that book? Maybe I can learn how to activate it.
And as Kunerith's walking by, he just reaches out and hands you the book.
I'll just flip through the pages until I find the spot, and I'll just sort of see if I can make any sense. I doubt I could like actually do anything, but
More of the intimidation factor.
yeah.
Roll me an Arcana check when you are when you're looking through it.
I'm so tired. That's an 8.
An 8? Okay, so normally in most books it would be difficult, but you kind of find it's very easy to find where the transportation circle is, because it has drawings of everything in there. So when you're flipping through, you're like, oh, okay, transportation circle. And his notes are very much like an uneducated person's magic. Like, it's like basically in the schools of magic, this is a 3rd grade reading level. When you're looking through it, so it's basically like activation spell words and like components needed and like all these things that has all of it right there, and you can read it pretty easily.
See these words right here? All I have to do is say them, and it should activate. So,
perfect.
And just to help with the intimidation, I will look over, make a big show of looking, grabbing a piece of chalk, and going, oh, there's still some runes missing. Let me add a triangle here and a pentagram here, so that he knows completely that we're fucking this up.
Oh, add the symbol of Asmodeus. That's certain to help.
So
yeah, I'm sure some
let
dark
me
powers.
roll a Constitution or Wisdom saving throw.
Here, let me draw the axis of the boneyard here, just in case, so the soul knows where to go.
And okay. So he's very well intimidated right now, to the point that he's actually wet himself. That you guys have more than sufficiently scared him. However, with the intimidation, you guys haven't actually told him what you want. So he can't tell you what you want because he has no idea what you guys are looking for.
Do you have anything useful to share that you could just like feels like valuable information, perhaps?
The book. I'll show you the book.
What
the
book?
He mentioned a book.
What book? A different book.
The book I got the spells from.
Where is
The
it?
book he got the spells from.
Now that is what we want to know.
Do we, though?
I mean, I definitely would like to have the book.
Yes.
But that's it's not directly.
He is crying at this point.
Don't we want to make him pay for his punishment, or his crimes?
I mean, yes. Also that.
Okay.
Would be nice to get
but-
some information as well.
Stop here.
Kunerith extends, but only to the other 3, not to him. All right. So potentially he has a useful book that he could direct us toward, but
I mean,
if
we know it's in
we
the
are
study.
seeking punishment for him, all intimidation aside, this solves all of our problems. There is the removal, there is punishment, and there is no evidence that remains. And
It was his doing.
mildly poetic.
I agree.
So maybe we can revisit this after we find this book, or he directs us to it.
Does he know anything about a potential spy? Or maybe he was spying on his father?
You can ask him and I can relay it to you.
Yeah.
Hey kid, and I punch him in the stomach.
And I'm just holding him like it's one of those kind of, because I should be strong enough. He's not that big, and I think I have like base strength isn't as high as I thought it was. But anyway, I'm just kind of doing that hold up where he's maybe just trying to catch his feet. Like he kind of gets on his feet and then maybe loses his footing again. Like I'm just kind of holding him. So,
were you spying on your dad, or do you know somebody that was spying on your dad?
No, I swear I wasn't. He is still able to say mentally what he's trying to say, but his breath is knocked out of him as he is.
All right.
And where's this book?
In the attic. Shelf around the corner, on the very bottom in a small chest. I found it in my dad's study. I swear I have no idea where it came from. He's never mentioned it since it's been gone. I think it's been in our family for a few generations.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
It has a crest on the front.
Maybe this is what the dad thought about the spy. Maybe he did notice it, just didn't think it was his son.
Graves will go out the door to open the door briefly, close it as he goes out, try and see if he can find this book where he said it was.
You go around this corner and you see this small chest here.
I'll open the chest.
You see in the bottom a tome. And you pull this up, and this is the oldest thing you've ever seen.
Mm.
It is a leather.
Is it older than Strahd?
Could be.
You aren't sure.
Has he seen Strahd?
But you see it's a leather-bound tome with metal inlays and a crest, like he said, across the front of it.
I
recognize the crest. You recognize the crest from the letter you got when you first entered Barovia from Strahd von Zarovich.
This. Graves will bring it back over and close the door again.
I have shared an image of the book that you have found in the handouts.
Here it is. Now, if you recall, my friends, this is no ordinary crest. He'll close the doors behind him, too. This, I believe, is the crest of one Strahd von Zarovich.
This is his spell book?
Contains the same crest as the letter we received from him, so it's at least linked to him. But then again, everything here seems to be.
I swear that's all I know. I just found it. I didn't know it was his. I just found the spells and copied them, and then couldn't find any more or understand anything more.
He says that he doesn't know anything more about the book other than the spells that he gleaned.
Well, we have possession of it now. So we have much of the information we came here for. But one thing still remains. And he'll look at the circle and at Conaret.
Did we take a vote?
What's your intended destination? Waterdeep?
Bowshot, Mezaborazan.
I don't know these places.
You should go to Mezaborazan.
Just not Barovia. That's where I was trying, and it hasn't worked yet.
Yes, just
and
think not Barovia.
Tears are streaming down.
I definitely recommend this place called Mezaborazan. You can picture it because there's this big spire in the center that lights up to tell the time. It's a wonderful place.
So
Definitely not one of the places you don't want to go.
he is at this point a blubbering mess. He is not really saying anything mentally or physically. He's just kind of tears going down his face. He has soiled himself. What do you guys do?
He has become completely mentally and emotionally spent.
Just like his victim.
So
I will read the activation phrase.
Ooh.
After he's in the
Okay.
circle, I assume.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite put him, like, he's been holding him on the edge of the circle and kind of, like I said, like reading the room, just looking between the other three to see if there is approval or disapproval.
Sounds like approval.
Graves nods.
So, just for an added little touch.
Okay. Graves will also hold person for if he tries to get out of the circle.
Wait. Just for an added little touch. Conerth is going to... How do I get you? Okay.
Are we about to get, like, Gallaghered?
Conerth holds him over the center of the circle and then casts Arms of Hadar on him as tentacles extend from the circle and grab hold of him and pull him down to his knees.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think it's a dex save or something, which he automatically fails if he's bound.
I also definitely erased the extra runes I put.
Just in case it just doesn't work at all.
Just in case it works.
Okay, so you were reading the activation.
Yeah, I'll do the activation.
You read the activation, and all of the runes shine in bright, shining light. They are kind of a bluish purple color as they're going, and then as it lights up, all of a sudden it shifts to red, and lightning kind of strikes across it. And you see it almost looks like a spattering of like lightning, but it's kind of continuous across the entire circle. It passes over Victor, and he is screaming into the gag that you guys have created. His skin changes from its normal pallor to a scarred flesh. And in the span of less than 10 seconds, his entire body burns away, leaving no ash. You see it go from his skin to his muscle to his bones, and then gone.
Really good that you clarified just before this trigger warning.
Yikes.
Let it be known, Graves is not of a good alignment. He's not evil, but he's not good aligned.
To be fair, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Now,
Herbert
you guys have the slight smell of ozone in the air. And silence spreads across the room.
And now we have the story that we came in to check on the screaming.
Well, there wasn't really much screaming, I assume. That would be heard elsewhere.
Yeah, there was he was gagged, so...
We also can just mend the lock.
Now, Graves, you were holding the book.
Yes.
As you flip open the first page of it, you can see most of the pages are encrypted. They are hidden magically or through physical ciphers as you're glancing through, and you can't read anything. But the first paragraph seems easy enough to read in Celestial.
Oh.
That's why I asked, because I'm the only one that speaks it, and I have the book.
In Celestial, you see that it says, I am the ancient, I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior, I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just god. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul, as the wind wears stone into sand. And you realize these are the personal writings of Strahd von Zarovich. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Ooh. Oh man, I was like definitely okay with like the whole cutting the tongue out, but then obviously we don't want to deal with the consequences of that right away. But this,
Yeah, that was more of Graves' thing too. He didn't care about punishing him. He was like, he's all for that. He just didn't know if we wanted to compromise our position in the town yet. But if we found a way to get around that, Graves is like, absolutely.
I mean,
let's
I'll be
favorize
honest. Barovia is meant to change the player characters, and that is definitely a maybe not necessarily a turning point, but that's definitely a choice point. That if you were like playing an RPG, it'd be like, oh, you have gained so many points towards.
I wonder how unique of a solution that was compared to the many solutions people have come to.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, one of my buddies has run it a few times. I'm gonna ask him if he's ever seen that. It was fun. I like that solution.
Obviously, Chimera has been slowly taking a slightly darker turn, and I was kind of like, "This is the way I'm going to play this," because kind of the.
I'll be honest. The one that surprised me. The one that surprised me was Herbert. I'll be honest.
Yeah, everyone else, I was like, well, Chimera's taking a darker turn.
Kind of a little
Graves
bit of shining.
Taking a darker turn.
Herbert's been the shining light in Barovia, and when you were like, I read the incantation, I'm like, wait, hold the door.
Yeah, I agree, because everyone else has at least a dark side that we've already seen.
I think that his sense of justice was so overwhelmed by this account of this
that it wasn't even evil.
It's like he didn't consider what he did to be evil, but maybe until he saw what he actually just did to the creature in front of him, like he's gonna remember this, and it's gonna stick with him. He's never gonna be able to say that he didn't make this choice. But
it's like it's one
feels that it's right, at least in the moment.
Yeah, it's one thing for him to say, I'm okay for what he did. I'm okay with a death sentence. I think that's appropriate. But then the way it was carried out is what would haunt you. It's like, oh my god, I actually just did that.
Oh, and also it wasn't like you pulled the trigger.
Herbert
basically.
pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And
the most good of all of the party.
You were the chosen one.
He's definitely been trying to hang on. He wants to do good here. He wants to like make a positive impact, and he feels like this is somewhat of a positive impact.
So,
because
I'll be honest, Victor dying in that way that early, I don't know how it will affect the story. But
got some prep work to do.
Is he meant to be around for a long time? We just killed him instantly.
He's
a character that can appear.
Not anymore.
Now he
got vaporized.
Now there's a lot of different rules around like his specific demeanor that some people change him around, but in this specific instance, I think that you guys all acted within character. But yeah, it was a good session.
I think that if we had not read those journal entries ourselves, like if we hadn't had access to this, it might have been like, well, okay, maybe he animates cats. He's a little weirdo.
Like the time to
he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
If you don't read the journals,
like, oh crap, you guys are getting the journals right before you even have met this person.
Yeah, usually he might be a weirdo, but a possible ally.
Because he's invisible, so like probably the logical thing is he's supposed to manage to get out of the room, or at least stash the journal. And then you talk to him, and he's clever, and he kind of like works it around, and like even like though he was caught red-handed, and we had read the journal, he was still trying to convince us that he was doing it for all truth. So like it's perfectly feasible that he would have convinced us that he's not a bad guy if he had the chance to talk to us before we saw that. And the fact that we spotted him out despite him being invisible and read that before even talking just completely destroyed any chance that he had.
Yep.
And it was all all just coincidental stuff.
I was expecting if you saw him invisible, you'd be like, hey, what are you doing here? And then having a conversation, not immediately being like, sleep, read, kill.
So that's one of the things that I've really been enjoying
kill.
about Conereth's like telepathy is just that that was the perfect situation where it's like I can actually clarify this with the room. The same way when I spotted the thing, the doll or the marionette. Pitalik, when I spotted Pitalik under the dress, it's like it's so convenient to be able to share information to the room.
Is Pitalik gonna tattle on us?
In the room.
He's on my back.
He's on Onyx's back.
He was in the room where it happened.
You guys just look over and like the lightning's like just shadows across his face and he just no expression.
I think we need to be nice to Pitlik now so he doesn't like tell the guards our secret.
But he's also a creepy doll that talks, so like
yeah.
How serious would anyone take him until the boy has been missing for at least like a full day or two, and then maybe they'd start to be like, you know what? That doll was saying that they killed him. And he hasn't shown up in a while.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I have different prep than what I anticipated needing to do.
It's a good thing you didn't prep ahead too much.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different things I prepped.
One possible follow-up the Graves might put forth, so in case it ends up helping your prepping, is that he might want to follow up with this Voctor girl. Because he is the best interest in the Voctors. Okay,
so for are we still live? I'm not sure if we are.
I have no idea.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
hey guys,
we're going to be setting up planning for next session. We had a lot happen that session, a lot of character development and unexpected things. But we will be back in for sure 2 weeks. We're going to be hopefully setting up something that we do have a hiatus like we did that we'll still be able to share recorded episodes so that we are not running into having to leave it on
cliffhangers for a month.
Yeah, leaving cliffhangers or
as long as there's
long spaces.
Emergency on my end.
Yeah, for sure. So, but thank you all for joining and enjoy.
Yeah, see.